everybody, today we're going to be making some of these cute little flowers that I'm sure you've been seeing around on the blogs and on the websites. And to do that, we're going to use the new Imaginess Eye Bond tool, which is a cordless heat gun, which makes me very, very happy. It's very easy to use. It's got 4 AA batteries in the bottom and an on-off switch, and when you turn it on, a light comes on to tell you that it's on, and it's also in a place where when you put your glue gun, the nozzle towards your paper, it lights up where you're going so you can see what you're doing. So we're going to let that heat up for a few seconds while we start these little flowers. There's a couple of different types, and depending on how you cut them, you'll make different types of flowers. So this one is fairly thick, which would be great for altered items and cards. And then I also made one that's a little flatter so that you could stick it on a scrapbook page. And this one started out the same as this one, but the way that I built it up and kept it really tight on the inside made it a little bit thicker than the other one. So we're going to make 2 really quick here, so I'm going to start and do this flat one first. So I have a 2 3/4 inch circle that I use my punch to cut it out. And so now I'm just going to go in freehand and turn this into a spiral. Now, the distance, the width that you cut this is going to be approximately the width away from your paper that you've got there. So, we're just going to quickly over here. Oh, and by the way, I'm really nervous today because Verna's here working and she's listening to everything that I say. Not cool. Alright. So you can see how it doesn't, I'm not really taking care to make sure that this is even. I'm just sort of cutting around, and then it's going to come in to a little point here, like this. Okay. So the way that I did the first one is I sort of shaped it by starting from the inside and going around this way, and I just did it loosely, just to make the paper shape and go the way that I wanted it to go, so it was easier to maneuver once I started gluing. She's being sneaky over there. I don't like it. She's trying to be quiet. It's making me nervous. Alright, so now it's sort of in that shape that I want it to be. So what I did is I pulled the outside edge around and glued it to itself at the size that I wanted my finished flower to be. And so I just took my glue gun, put a little bit of glue on it, and I thought that would be the easiest way to do it, and then it would be the size that I wanted it to be, and then I can just fill the rest of this in and shape it the way that I want it to go. And flatten it down and get it to look the way that I want it to look. So I punched this extra little 1.5 inch circle out to glue it to. I'm just going to add a bunch of glue. Oh, I need a new glue stick. And it just takes regular mini glue sticks that you can get at any craft store, which is nice that you don't have to rely on them making refills and being overpriced. So I'm just going to add some of that there and twirl this around a little. Oh, the glue is sticking to everything. We're just going to shape it the way that we want to. Get it on there. And then, if you can see any of this circle that you've punched on the back, I made it a little bit bigger than what I wanted it to be so that I knew I would have lots of room. Then you can just trim off any of the excess so that you wouldn't see it if you had it on a scrapbook page. So, that's those cute little flowers. Now, you can also, when you're doing this, when you're cutting it, make your cuts sort of wavy, which is what I did with this one, and it sort of gives it a little bit more dimension on it. So we're going to make this one wavy, and we're going to do it a different way than what we did that one, the first one. I'm actually going to use my tweezers this time, and I'm going to start from the outside. And then I'm going to flip this around the outside of my tweezers. And go around and around. And the neat part about when you do this way is you don't need that extra circle, because this little lip here is at the end. This was Verna's trick that she told me, that you can glue your flower to once you're done. So now that I've got it around here, I'm just going to let it flip out and take my tweezers out so that I can actually make this a little bit looser. So when I did this little one, I did it the same way that I just did that, but I kept it really tight and glued it together so that it was a nice little rosebud here. But this one I want to be a little bit bigger. So we're going to open it up a little bit, and we're going to add some glue to this end. And just glue it onto itself. Get the flower in there like that, and voila! There you go. So it is best if you're doing these ones, especially the ones that pop up and you can see both sides, to use double-sided paper. This one you can really only see one side of the paper, so that one wouldn't matter if you had single-sided paper. You'd be better off that way. And then you can also, once you're done, you can spritz it with a little bit of water to make it pliable, and then you leave the petals out a little bit, or you can ink it a little bit and make it match your project perfectly. All right, have a great day.